Have you ever thought about what makes a perfect game? You know, that game that grabs you from start to finish and makes you want to play it again and again? Let's explore together the elements that make gaming more than just a hobby. Starting our list is Red Dead Redemption 2. If you haven't played it yet, Red Dead is a waste of time. It's like you're stepping into a time machine and being transported to the most epic Old West you've ever seen. Vibrant cities, breathtaking landscapes, soundtrack that gives you chills, and all with a level of detail you've never seen in a game before. But it's not just visual beauty, no. Arthur Morgan's story is so deep that you find yourself thinking about the characters even when you're not playing. What about the missions? Each one is a unique adventure, with twists and turns that take you by surprise. And best of all, the choices you make really matter and influence how the story unfolds. And to top it off, the gameplay is just perfect. The shootouts are intense, camp life makes you feel part of the gang, and exploring the open world is a liberating experience. You can hunt, fish, play poker, or just sit and admire the scenery. Anyone who has played the game knows what I'm talking about, and will probably agree with me. If I left any detail blank, remind me by commenting on the video. The next game on our list is The Last of Us. But after all, what is so special about this game? Let's start by talking about its story, where the strong point of the game is Joel and Elle's relationship, which is so well constructed that you feel part of that journey. You care about them, their fears and their hopes. Joel is a tough guy, but with a huge heart. Ella is a strong and intelligent girl who wins you over with her unique way. And the other characters that cross their path are so well constructed that you remember every single one of them. Even after years, and when it comes to the environment, Naughty Dog has created a world so immersive that you feel danger at every step. The infected are scary, but what disturbs you most is the cruelty of the humans towards gameplay. The conflicts in Glastawa are brutal and require strategy. Ammunition is scarce, and enemies are intelligent, which forces the player to use the environment to his advantage. Planning your attacks and using different weapons and tactics, stealth is a viable option in many encounters, allowing the player to avoid direct confrontations and save resources. In summary, the combination of these two elements, story and gameplay, makes The Last of Us a unique and unforgettable experience. It is a game that makes you feel the anguish of a devastated world and the hope of a better future. Horizon Forbidden West is a masterpiece that transports you to a lush and dangerous world, where the beauty of nature blends with the technology of colossal machines. If you've ever ventured into the world of Horizon Zero Dawn, get ready. If, for an even more epic and thrilling experience, Hello is back to unravel the mysteries behind the plague that threatens life on Earth. The story is rich in detail, with captivating characters and surprising twists that will make you question everything you know about the world of Horizon. The landscapes of the game are breathtaking, with lush forests, vast deserts, snowy mountains, and paradisiacal beaches. Each region is inhabited by unique machines and tribes with their own cultures, which makes exploration even more interesting. You'll want to explore every corner of the map, discovering hidden secrets and challenges. Regarding combat, it has been enhanced with new weapons, abilities, and strategies to face the machines. The variety of enemies is impressive, and each requires a different approach. Stealth is also an option, allowing meticulous attack planning and silent eliminations. You'll feel like a true machine hunter, utilizing intelligence and skill to survive. The next game on the list is Black Myst Wukong. The game puts you in the shoes of Sun Wukong, the legendary Monkey King of Chinese mythology. The story is based on the classic novel Journey West, but with a dark twist of its own, exploring themes such as fate, freedom, and the nature of good and evil. The game is simply clean, with state-of-the-art graphics that transport you to a vibrant and detailed world. The settings are inspired by Chinese culture and nature, with lush landscapes and majestic buildings. The characters are also very well done, with fluid and expressive animations. Now, the strongest point of the game is the gameplay, which really makes action RPG fans thrilled. We're talking about fluid, dynamic combat, which reminds a little of the best Souls-like games, but with a unique approach. Protagonist Wukong has a really diverse skill set. You can literally change the game as your fighting style is using your transformation ability, yes. He sees other animals, including a giant fly or controlling clones of himself to disorient enemies. This is only the surface, because behind all this, there is a combat design intelligence that seems to be of the highest order. Now I'm going to talk about a controversial game, Cyberbug, or rather, Cyberpunk 2077. I know the initial release was full of problems and bugs, I won't deny it, but what many people didn't realize is that the game always had gigantic potential. And now, with the EO DLC Phantom Liberty updates, it has become a true masterpiece. Let's start with the City Night series, is one of the most immersive and vivid open worlds you will find. The city has a futuristic, dirty and chaotic vibe, like the breathtaking cyberpunk aesthetic. Every district, every street, every corner has a story to tell, and you'll meet memorable characters at every turn. The architecture, the neon signs, the flying cars. It's a place that really swallows you up, makes you feel part of that dystopian universe. Now speaking of combat, Cyberpunk also shines. Whether with firearms, melee or rack combat, you have multiple ways to tackle situations, and the battles are intense and well done. Our next game is Drought, a game that challenges in a unique way, and I'll explain to you why I consider it perfect. First, the sense of realism that the game brings is absurd. The movement of the protagonist, the combat focused on precision, and even the sound of the blades meeting each other fully emerge from that Japanese feudal world. No cheap stabbing or easy blows. It's all about reading the enemy's movements and responding at the right time. It's almost like a dance between life and death. Combat is demanding, but it's also very rewarding when you get the team right, especially with the posture system that creates that tension, where the slightest mistake can cost you your life. Another point that I think is genius is the open world, but in a very particular way. It's not a gigantic world, with mountains and caves to explore, but the settings are interconnected in a very clever way, and you feel that each place has a reason to exist. It's as if the design was made for you to explore, without losing focus on the story and immersion. In addition, the game has a super engaging story, but it doesn't give you everything hand-kissed. You need to pay attention to the details, the NPCs' lines, even how the characters themselves relate to each other. Our next game is the highly acclaimed Elden Ring, which recently received a new hype for the release of the new DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. But what could one expect? Elden Ring is perfect because it combines the best of open-world games with From Software's unmistakable style. The freedom of exploration is absurd, with a gigantic map full of secrets. But the most amazing thing is how he tells you the story in a subtle way. It doesn't have the gaping plot, but instead, it lets you figure it all out little by little, with texts and character encounters that make you put the pieces together. The story of Elden Ring is epic, with complex mythology, betrayal, and lost gods, and all this without giving you easy answers. Every piece of the world and every boss tells a little bit of that narrative, and that's what makes the game so immersive. Combat, as always, is sharp and challenging, and each victory has a unique flavor. In the end, Elden Ring conquers you, with the feeling of being free, and at the same time, challenged at every step. Ghost of Tsushima is our next game. Ghost of Tsushima is perfect because it mixes fluid gameplay, beautiful open world, and a samurai story that grips you from start to finish. The game puts you in the shoes of Gin Sakai, a samurai who must decide between honoring his family's codes or adopting dirtier tactics to save his land from Mongol invasion. The combat is visceral, as is the incredible fluidity between attacks and defenses, and the scenery is so beautiful that you get lost in it. The scenery of Tsushima is jaw-dropping. The story is full of moral dilemmas and emotional moments, with an epic journey about honor, sacrifice, and the fight for freedom. The game makes you really feel like you're a samurai, and the immersion is complete, whether fighting in intense battles or just admiring nature at the end. Ghost of Tsushima is not just a samurai game, it's a true work of art. He manages to thrill you, challenge you, and most importantly, make you feel part of the world he created, with a strong narrative, satisfying combat, and a setting that is simply unforgettable. Let's talk now about Uncharted 4, which was a game that managed to close Nathan Drake's journey in an epic way, with the right mix of action, adventure, and excitement. Drake is now older, trying to live a quiet life, but being pulled back into the world of treasure and danger when his brother, who he thought was dead, reappears. The plot is full of twists and turns, with themes of redemption, family, and the cost of adventure, which brings a more mature tone. The narrative, combat, and exploration are even more refined, with intense firefights, climbing, dizzying, and challenging puzzles, all with incredible gameplay fluidity. Also, the visual part is stunning, with graphics that really make you believe you are playing a movie, and that's where the game shines. It combines healing moments with emotional scenes that truly touch, creating a unique experience. A Plague Tale Hacking. In this exciting game, Amici and Hugo follow in their struggle to survive in a world ravaged by plague and war, with a narrative focused on family bond and the sacrifices they have to make to survive. The relationship between the two is the heart of the game, and as the story unfolds, you feel the pain, fear, and hope of every moment. The combat and exploration are super intense. With a mix of stealth and direct action, the mechanics of using mice as weapons or as a means of escaping the most tense situations bring something unique to the game, while the setting and graphics are cinematic, making you feel immersed in that dark time. The way tension is built, whether through combat or in exploring environments, makes every moment in the game carry an emotional weight. It is a game that not only impresses with its technique, but also with its deep narrative. And when you get to the end, the sense of impact is gigantic. The story, the characters, and the world make it a masterpiece that cannot be forgotten. The Legend of the Brat of the Wild is a legendary game because it redefined the concept of open world. The freedom it offers is absurd. You can explore Hero Isle however you want, climbing mountains, crossing rivers, and discovering secrets in every corner. The story, though simple at first, where Link ropes from a deep sleep to defeat Ganon. It's amazing for the way it challenges you to piece together the pieces of Hirola's past while exploring without haste. The game allows you to do everything in your order with a lot of possibilities and choices that make every play unique. The puzzles, sanctuaries, and combat system with various weapons and abilities are super fun and engaging. The stylized look, the epic sound, and the feeling of always discovering something new leaves a game with a magical atmosphere. In short, Brat of the Wild is the kind of game that makes you feel like you're living a true adventure with the open world that really invites you to explore and create your own journey. It is an immersive, fun, and unforgettable experience. Our next game plunges you into a dark and harrowing world of Bloodborne. The game has a unique atmosphere that mixes gothic horror and frenetic action. History is full of mystery. You are a hunter looking for answers about a city infested with monsters and a supernatural plague. The narrative is told in a subtle way through details, texts, and encounters, which makes you feel part of a dark and deep plot, where nothing is simple and everything has a price. Combat is fast and punishing, more addictive. From Software knows how to create an experience where you need to be aggressive but not lose caution, and this makes every battle challenging and rewarding. The look and design of the monsters are also otherworldly, leaving you breathless with each new enemy. The difficulty is high, but the feeling of overcoming is indescribable. And to finish Bloodborne, the definition of a game that challenges you, engages you, and leaves you looking forward to the next discovery. It grips you not only by the gameplay, but by the dark story and the constant feeling of being in a nightmare, where every step is a fight for survival. Our next game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I know Ubisoft faltered on some games in the franchise, but on this one, they got it right. The game contains an epic story with total freedom of exploration. Set in ancient Greece, do you play as Alexis or Cassandra? A mercenary who finds himself embroiled in a plot full of political mythology and betrayal, while searching for his family and trying to uncover secrets from the past. The narrative is well constructed and allows you to make choices that really impact the course of the story, which gives you a sense of control over the character's fate. The world is gigantic and full of detail, with cities, temples, and islands to explore. In addition to epic battles and even clashes with mythological figures, which makes everything very immersive. Combat is dynamic and fluid, with a variety of weapons and abilities to customize your fighting style. The RPG part is excellent, allowing you to develop your character your own way at the end. Assassin's Creed Office is a game that pulls you in by the vast world, the engaging narrative and the feeling of actually living an adventure in ancient Greece. It combines exploration, combat and choices with mastery, making you want to spend hours and hours immersed in this universe. Our next game is God of War 2018, which I consider perfect because it reinvented the series in an incredible way, bringing a deeper and more emotional story without losing the brutal action that the franchise has always had. Now you play as Kratos, but no longer the god of war. Ruthless, he is a father, trying to educate his son Tros, as the two embark on a journey to scatter the ashes of Atreus' mother atop a mountain. The relationship between the two is at the heart of the game and brings incredible humanity to Kratos, who was once just a monster. Combat is fluid, heavy, and very well thought out, with the Leviathan hatchet becoming almost a character on its own with super cool mechanics. In addition, the Nordic world is beautiful and full of details. And the game has a unique sense of continuity with the uncut camera, which gives you another level of immersion. The story goes beyond Norse mythology and focuses on themes of fatherhood, redemption, and the weight of the past. It's a perfect blend of engaging storytelling, thrilling combat, and a rich world to explore all, while making you reflect on what it means to be a hero parent and face your own demons. The next game is very special for me. Twitter 3 is perfect because it delivers everything you expect from an epic RPG, an engaging story, a rich open world, and decisions that really matter. You play as Gerald of Rivia, a monster hunter, trying to find his adopted daughter, Ciri, while dealing with a war between realms and a supernatural threat. The deep and nuanced story, with amazing characters like Jennifer and Three, and moral choices that really make you think about what's right or wrong. The world of The Witcher 3 is vast, detailed and alive, with villages, forests, and cities, all filled with stories and side missions that enrich the main plot. Combat is dynamic, with magic, sword, and alchemy, and the character evolution system allows you to customize Gerald however you like. The game is immersive, exciting, and has a narrative that will hold you until the last second. And to finish our video, Dark Souls 3, which delivers one of the most rewarding challenges in video games, with a dark world full of mysteries that make you feel attentive at every step. The story is classic in the series, where you are one Kindle, a soul doomed to put out the fire that keeps the world alive. Facing several bosses and trying to understand the fate of the ancient Flame Lords, the narrative is very subtle, told through dialogues, items, and the environment itself. What makes you want to put the pieces of the puzzle together on your own? Combat is incredible, super technical, and requires precision, patience, and strategy, whether with sword, magic, or any other weapon. Feeling of defeat is harsh, but victory, after overcoming a boss or a difficult area, is extremely satisfying, and the world design is fantastic. With interconnected areas and a sense of cohesion, which makes you feel that you are truly immersed in an immense and well thought out universe. Now, if you've stayed this far, it's a sign that we share the same tastes. If you think you missed a game on this list, don't forget to comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and leave the like. This is very rewarding for me.